Mm.
Is Valerie back on?
I can hear now.
She can hear. Oh, okay. We're ready to go back. I think do we have an echo? That's okay. I think I heard her say she can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you all now.
Okay. I think can we put her on the screen, the Zoom? Okay. So I think we have Ms. Garcia now on Zoom. So if we finish roll call.
Okay. Clerk Valerie Garcia.
Present.
Perfect.
you.
Okay, perfect. So we'll be moving on with the agenda. Recognitions 2.1. We have recognitions of Coachella Valley High School counseling ramp certification. We have staff. So excited to be here. Yeah. We made it.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Esparza, Board Trustee, Board President Vargas, esteemed members of the school board, district leadership, and student trustee. My name is Saul Mendez. I'm currently serve as the coordinator of secondary academic counseling. It is truly a privilege and an honor to be here and this evening to honor Coachella Valley High School counseling team for earning the recognized ASCA model program, was called RAMP certification for 2025. This distinction award by the American School Counseling Association represents the highest level of achievement for a comprehensive data-driven school counseling program. We are especially proud that Coachella Valley High School is one of only 32 schools in California, one of just 190 schools nationwide, and the first in the Coachella Valley to receive this prestigious recognition. This honor reflects our district's unwavering commitment to student success, academically, socially, and emotionally. And the collaborative leadership that makes such an achievement possible, I'm also pleased to announce that 2 of our secondary schools are in the process of applying. Desert Rouge High School, she'll be applying next week, and also Kauai Desert Academy. This is, again, our district's commitment to excellence in school counseling. On behalf of the counseling team, I want to thank the school board, Superintendent Dr. Esparza, and the district leadership for your continued support of our work and your belief in the power of counseling that changes lives. I want to recognize the counselors. We have Ms. Araceli de la Torre. Ms. Lupita Mares. Dr. Tomas Shafee. Ms. Grisela Sanchez. Also that I here with this evening is Yolette Hernandez. And Yanet Chavez. I also want to recognize the CV's administration for their support. Dr. Ana Santa Maria, the principal. Mr. Andres Robles, assistant principal. And Mr. James Strahler, assistant principal as well. So they get to receive this plaque.
So is it, they get to take it to their house for a week at a time? Like a World Series trophy?
Yeah. And again, I want to thank you. This is work that they started back, it's my understanding, when COVID hit, and they've been working. It is a very rigorous process and application they have to go through. And like I said, CV High School Counseling Team has set the pathway as far as what our standards are here at Coachella Valley CVUSD, basically as far as counseling. And I'm excited that I'm very proud of them to support them in any way I can to basically, that we're the first here in the Coachella Valley to have this recognition. So again, thank you.
Take a picture? Yeah, we'll take a picture, yeah.
Could we speak?
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to note,
Oh.
principal at Coachella Valley High School, so we want to say thank you to Ms. Sanchez for leading our counselors.
Do board members want to comment first, or?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you all. I think the idea that, you know, counseling has changed a lot, the little I know in the last 10 years, specifically in the last 5 years, and the fact that it's data-driven information that has recognized you, you're obviously doing the right thing, and just congratulations to all of you.
Anyone else? Trustee Arredondo?
I just want to congratulate you all for your hard work. I know that it's been since COVID started, and you guys have done great work. So I know that you guys will continue to work hard for our students. So thank you.
Anyone else? No? Take a picture? Oh, yeah, Student Trustee Mesa.
I just want to say I'm incredibly proud to be part of the Coachella Valley High School. I'm proud of you guys. I mean, you guys do so much for us, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Take a picture? Okay, any other, other comments? We'll move on to 3.1, closed session public comments. Do we have closed session? No closed session public comments, okay. 3.2, do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Student trustee? Are you okay with us going to closed session? Yes, okay. None opposed, abstentions? So we'll be back at 7:30? At 7, sorry. We'll be back at 7 PM. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we had a motion to return to open session, and we have announcements. I'll go ahead and do the announcements. So we had action taken in closed session. The board took action during closed session to approve the settlement agreement regarding claim number 633054, date of loss October 31st, 2025. Motion was made by Trustee Gonzalez, seconded by Trustee Arredondo, and the motion carried 7-0. The other item that we took, the board took action during closed session to approve settlement agreement regarding claim number 629734, date of loss June 8th, 2022. Motion was made by Trustee Arredondo, seconded by Trustee Calamanes. Board members in favor, Jocelyn Vargas, Valerie Garcia, Trida Arredondo, Thomas Tortes, Elena Calamanes. Board members opposed, Mr. Gonzalez and Trustee Acuña. Motion carried. And that is it. Okay, moving on to 4.3, approval of agenda is submitted. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Trustee Mesa? All those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 5.1, board notifications, public comments. The introductory comments and requests to address the board on items on the adopted agenda and items not on the adopted agenda will be considered from the audience at this time. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it to the recording secretary. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person with a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. Additionally, the person making the request should state his or her name and the name of the organization or group represented. Please be advised that the board is not always at liberty to answer questions right away. State law prohibits the board from taking any action on items not listed on the agenda. So we have a few public comments tonight. So we have Ted Leonard Jr., Parent Liaison. Do we have? I'm sorry, could you speak into the mic, make sure it's on? Is it green?
There it is. Got it. Thank you. I'm here tonight to speak not just for myself, but on behalf of many of the families in our district who deeply are concerned and honestly heartbroken about the removal of Ms. Esperanza and our parent liaison. For many of us, parent liaisons are more than just staff. They are the heart of our schools. They are the bridge between home and school. They have us help us understand how to support our children, connect with important resources, and most importantly, they make us feel welcomed and heard. The trust and relationship they've built with families, especially those of us who are new to the system, our English learners, our navigating hardship cannot be replaced. That's why this decision is confusing and frustrating. All parent liaisons are very helpful. For us parents in the school sites, they help us with regulations, parent portal, parent square, creating emails with uniforms and children, backpacks, parent resources, parent training, and family fun activities. Parent liaisons at Palmview was always the front office, always available for us parents at all times. It made a big difference in parent involvement. Parents were finally getting more involved in school with activities and parent workshops. Right now, office staffs are overwhelmed with students, consistent parents calling or going to the office for questions. Palmview has around 700 students, and a part of the time, attendance clerks, Ms. Esperanza's parent liaisons, was always there for any help we needed. Our students' school has more students, which equals more teachers and more parents, but the same amount of staff. How does that make sense? When you go into the office, you can see how busy the office is. Staff is trying to take care of parents, students, staff, and other regular duties. Ms. Esperanza, the parent liaison, is greatly needed. It is so sad the district and the board members do not seem to see or care that us parents need the parent liaison back, because it does not affect them, it affects the children. Dr. Esparza, you often talk about building champions in our schools, but I have a question for you. Is this what building champions looks like? Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment, Irene Rodriguez, Parent Concerns, Oasis School.
Dear members of the board, we are here today not just as parents, but as people who deeply care about Oasis School, this community and the children who walk through its doors every day. We are also here on behalf of many other families who may not speak up for themselves, but who are feeling lost, unheard, and left behind. We have many concerns, but two main concerns tonight is the feeling that Oasis School is slipping away. We are feeling lost and forgotten. We have made many efforts at voicing our concerns with numerous emails, but no response or follow-through. Oasis is lacking everything. There's no spirit, no response, no follow-through. The school is dirty, the communication is broken, And the morale, let me just say it's lacking. Some examples, the restrooms are either dirty, no soap, no toilet paper, or locked. Some students must figure out how to get their needs met and are nervous to ask for support. The monthly calendars have not been provided this year and for many years, and for years this has been an ongoing issue. Multiple requests for these items have not been provided. While we understand that there have been many cuts, the students at Oasis should not have to be missing out on privileges that other students receive at other schools. How are other schools with the same challenges thriving, but Oasis is not? Most of us are former students of Oasis, and we know the potential this school has. We are requesting your support, and we encourage you all to visit the school to see with your own eyes what we are talking about tonight and what our children go through every day. The second goes hand in hand and is a request to have our school liaison back at Oasis School. Oasis is home to many low-income and hardworking families like us who want nothing more than to see our children succeed. But understanding the school system can be confusing and intimidating, especially when English is not the first language. That's why Mrs. Jaramillo's role was incredibly important. She was a person who we could turn to without fear. She helped us understand school policies, supported us in meetings, translated, and helped us with resources. She treated every parent and every student with kindness and dignity. For many of us, she was the only person at school who made us feel like we are important. And when her position was cut, it felt like that connection, that trust was taken away just like that. Since then, things have not felt the same, and the truth is our students are the ones paying the price. We have gathered signatures from other parents who feel the same way. We need Ms. Jaramillo back. We need her at Oasis School. We also want to sincerely thank Mr. Jesus Gonzalez and Mr. Joey Acuña for listening to our concerns and starting this important conversation. The community will always remember you made a difference and stood up with us when it mattered the most. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment, Maria Elba Ortiz. And it does say the interpreter needed, so I want to make sure we have interpretation for folks ready.
Muy buenas
Señora,
noches. Estoy aquí esta noche una vez más solicitando el puesto de enlace de los padres, algo que muchos de nosotros seguimos considerando importante en nuestras escuelas. La función de enlace con los padres se creó para ayudar a las familias a conectar con sus escuelas. Nos responden con preguntas, nos orientan sobre los recursos disponibles, nos ayudan con los formularios y nos mantienen informados. Cuando los enlaces con los padres están presentes, se nota la diferencia. Los padres nos sentimos olvidados, no escuchados, pero la verdad es que muchos de nosotros todavía nos sentimos...
Señora Elba, ¿nos permite un segundo? Disculpe, es que no está la traducción quiere escuchar. Permítame un segundo.
¿Comienzo?
Deme un segundo para que verifiquen que esté sirviendo la tecnología de intérprete. Siga, por favor.
Es que muchos de nosotros todavía nos sentimos excluidos. Sin los enlaces de padres, hay familias que necesitamos ayuda para completar trámites básicos, comprender los eventos escolares o incluso saber con quién hablar cuando hay un problema. Una hora simplemente no es suficiente para nuestras necesidades y solo son 3 enlaces de padres. Por eso estoy aquí esta noche y por eso seguiré viniendo. Lo he dicho antes y lo diré de nuevo. Seguiré asistiendo a las juntas hasta que se restablezca por completo todos los puestos de enlace con los padres. Sabemos que el distrito valora la participación de familias y se los agradecemos. La colaboración con los padres es una forma de confianza, es una forma de igualdad y sobre todo es una forma de éxito para todos. Por último, quiero expresar mi especial agradecimiento a la doctora Esparza y al miembro de la Junta Directiva por su apoyo y por escuchar mis preocupaciones. Sus esfuerzos no pasan por alto y la comunidad y los padres se los agradecemos. Muchas gracias por escucharme.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. Last public comment, we have Cesar Cota, subject item CVU.
Good evening. Reason I'm here tonight is because we're understaffed at CVU. We're requesting an additional custodian, and the leadership is aware of this. Nothing's being done about this. Teachers are mopping their classrooms, and trash is not being trashed out. Restrooms are locked way too early because the custodians are coming too early, and over 700 students with 2 custodians only. Well, other schools have 3 custodians, and they have 700 students. Leadership is aware, and last week we had a meeting with HR, and they said that nothing can be done because there's no money. But why is there money for the district level, but not for a school site level? So I'm requesting for you guys to look into the head custodian position. They opened up at the district office. It's not needed. I worked here in the summer, and I saw behind the scenes that this job is not needed, the head custodian, the overstaff. So I'm requesting for you guys to close the position and open one to CVU. Over there is needed. Like Dr. Esparza says, students come first. It doesn't show that students come first. District level shows they come first. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other in-person public comment? Okay. So we're going to move on to 6.1. We have written communications. We just have a few, so I'll go ahead and read them real quick. We have Eric Torres. Good evening, Governing Board. My name is Eric Torres, and I'm writing once again to express serious concerns regarding the Transportation Department, specifically the ongoing excessive use of overtime and compete as outlined in tonight's agenda. These figures only represent the overtime costs and do not include base salaries or benefits. While the department may argue that staff shortages are to blame, this rationale falls short when we consider the consistent decline in student enrollment over the past 3 years. Despite fewer students to transport, overtime continues to rise, raising important questions about efficiency and fiscal responsibility. Additionally, the cost tied to transportation department goes far beyond personnel. Fuel, vehicle maintenance, and liability insurance all represent substantial expenses. At the very least, we owe it to our district to explore cost-saving measures, including the potential outsourcing of transportation services as successfully implemented by districts like Palm Springs Unified. I also want to highlight ongoing issues with the Busology app. While it's unclear whether the app itself is faulty or drivers are not using it properly, the end result is the same: the app is frequently offline. As a parent trying to track my daughter's bus route, this is unacceptable. It's worth recalling that our district previously broke its contract with Samsara, paying a settlement, reportedly due to driver opposition to GPS tracking. That decision cost the district significantly, both financially and in accountability. We must ask why is there resistance to tracking bus locations? Is it connected to the high levels of overtime being reported? Transparency and accountability should not be optional, especially in departments with substantial budgets and public safety responsibilities. Please take a serious look at Transportation Department and consider steps towards meaningful oversight and cost reduction. Our students deserve nothing less. Thank you for your time and attention. The next open does not have a name, bus driver. We'll include, this is about transportation as well, so we'll include it in what's shared with the board members. And then we do have a couple of items. Carmen Bartolo, my comment is regarding the importance of parent liaisons at our schools. Parent liaisons play a vital role at school sites. They support both parents and students by connecting us with essential resources such as parent trainings, family events, and community services. Thanks to them, many families receive free uniforms, shoes, backpacks, and more for our children. Personally, I was always well informed about upcoming events and available support because of the parent liaisons. They were the go-to person whenever we needed help, guidance, or resources. Please consider bringing them back. They make a big difference in our school communities. We have another one, Maria Olivo. Dr. Esparza, Superintendent, School Board members, I'm writing as a concerned and involved parent to respectfully request that the parent liaison Parent community liaison position be restored to full-time availability at each school site. Currently, with only 3 community liaisons covering multiple schools, access is extremely limited. For example, at my daughter's school, the liaison is only available for 1 hour on Wednesdays and only by appointment. This makes it very difficult for parents like myself, especially those of us who are not computer savvy, to get the help we need. In the past, we had consistent access to liaisons at schools like Palmview and Bobby Duke. They were always available, approachable, and went above and beyond to assist us with things like the parent portal, ARIES, creating an email, registration school, uniforms for students in need, understanding school communication, accessing important resources. These liaisons are also played a major role in organizing meaningful parent workshops, fun family craft nights, and other school events that truly brought our community together. My daughter still talks about how much they enjoyed those events, and I miss the opportunity to connect with other families and be more involved beyond events. Beyond events, the parent liaisons provided vital support with accessing programs like Cal Kids, College Saving, United Way, Bill Assistance, and other helpful community resources. They were a bridge between home and school that made a real difference in our children's lives. I strongly urge you to consider bringing back full-time parent community liaisons at each school site. Their presence is not only helpful, it is essential for building strong family-school partnerships that directly benefit our students' success and well-being. Thank you for your time on this matter. I think we'll read one more. This one's from Cassandra Teran. Dear members of the school board, I want to express my concern and deep disappointment regarding the recent budget cuts that include the elimination of our parent liaison positions. While I understand the difficult financial decisions the district must make, the loss of these roles will have a significant impact on our schools, families, and students, especially those who rely on most on trusted connections between home and school. Parent liaisons play a vital role in building bridges between the educators and families. They're often the first point of contact for parents navigating the school system, supporting communication, cultural understanding, and engagement. Their presence helps strengthen trust, improve attendance, and increase student success. Removing these positions risks widening the gap between families and schools at a time when connection and community involvement are more important than ever. These individuals are not staff members, they're part of the heart of our school community. I urge the board to reconsider these cuts or explore alternative funding options to maintain parent engagement support. The long-term benefits of keeping families involved far outweigh short-term financial savings. Thank you for your time and commitment to our students. And okay. So I think the remaining 3 also pertain to the parent liaisons. So we're going to go ahead and share these to the board. So if Edgar could please send them out to everybody, and we'll include them in the public record. Okay, so we're going to move on to 6.2, student board member report. So Trustee Mesa.
Hi, I'm going to start with Coachella Valley High School. Coachella Valley High School continues to demonstrate growth in both academics and student engagement. This month, students have participated in a variety of campus activities promoting school spirit, community involvement, and academic excellence. The CVHS AVID program has been actively promoting college and career readiness among students. Over the past month, several events and workshops have taken place to help students prepare for their futures, whether that is applying to colleges, looking into the U.S. Army Forces, or simply finding job openings. Senior AP students are volunteering hours of community service to stay after school and tutor any students that are in need. This club is being advised by Mr. Hoy, an English teacher at CVHS, and has already sparked interest among the students at school. Teachers at CVHS, Students at Coachella Valley High School would like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to our dedicated counseling team for earning the prestigious RAMP certification. This recognition highlights their commitment to supporting student success, fostering academic growth, and creating a positive school environment for all students. We are incredibly proud of their hard work and continued dedication. Coachella Valley High School is proudly celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with a series of activities that honor our culture, history, and contributions of the Hispanic and Latino community. Students will participate in campus-wide events, including cultural performances, art displays, and educational presentations organized by student clubs and staff. Our school's athletic programs have been thriving this season, bringing students together and showcasing strong school spirit. Fall sports, including football, cheer, volleyball, cross country, golf, and tennis, are in full swing, with athletes demonstrating dedication and teamwork both on and off the field. Coaches and staff continue to emphasize leadership, academic balance, and sportsmanship within all athletic programs. Moving on to Desert Mirage High School. Desert Mirage High School has held grade-level presentations to inform students about important dates and graduation requirements. Most seniors are currently working on their UC and Cal State applications, with some already submitting them. The focus for this upcoming month will shift toward completing the FAFSA to ensure all students are prepared for post-secondary opportunities. Apart from academics, the school campus is vibrant with various activities, including homecoming events, pep rallies, and spirit weeks that bring students together and build school pride. Regarding senior graduation, there is a growing concern among the senior class about the location of the ceremony. The majority of students have expressed that they do not want graduation to be held on the football field. In previous years, the ceremony took place at the tennis gardens, and although they aren't going to open due to construction, each student received 10 tickets. 10 tickets for family members to see their daughters or sons graduate. This year, they might not have that. Moving on to La Familia, they want to give a shout out to Mr. Cardenas for their amazing counselor for meeting with every single student one-on-one to map out their academic journey. From checking their grades to exploring financial aid, college career options, and online platforms, Mr. Cardenas has made sure every student leaves with a personalized plan for success. Students are walking away confidently and ready for the year ahead. Mr. Cardenas' door is always open for questions, support, or just a friendly chat. Labos wanted to give a big thank you and for helping them dream big and plan smartly. La Familia High School had the honor of hosting Sergeant Rivera from the United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Rivera shared what it's like to be a part of the smallest but mightiest branch of the U.S. military. She told students about her journey, what inspired her to become a Marine, and how determination and hard work got her there. Students also got a behind-the-scenes look at Marine life, from salary perks to the tough challenges of earning that title. La Familia wants to say thank you, Sergeant Rivera, for inspiring students and showing LAFA what it means to have courage, commitment, and honor. Moving on to West Shores High School. As the first quarter concludes, both the English and math departments have held data chats to create targeted plans for improving student achievement. Around 90% of teachers are using PRISMs to strengthen students' understanding in math and science. The classroom engagement has been praised by visiting administrators. College and career readiness efforts are in full swing, with university visits, FAFSA completion, transcript reviews, and application workshops underway. Programs like AVID, CTE, dual enrollment, and the Migrant program are expanding opportunities through partnerships, field trips, and workshops. Meanwhile, student life is thriving with active ASB programs, upcoming events like Homecoming and Dia de los Muertos. The strong participation in athletics, including volleyball, football, and cheer. I'm going to move on to student voices at each school, starting with Coachella Valley High School. A meeting was held on Tuesday, October 7th, to discuss upcoming events for the senior class. Students were informed about topics such as grad night, senior packages for purchasing items like event tickets, yearbooks, and the panoramic class photo. The current graduation event status was also discussed. Many students and their parents voiced their concerns regarding where their graduation will be held, emphasizing that the importance of a venue that can comfortably accommodate families and reflect the significance of the event. The meeting provided an opportunity for open dialogue, allowing families to ask questions and share feedback. Additionally, students inquired about the availability of the Saturday school program to help them make up for attendance and receive additional tutoring support. At Desert Mirage High School, students appreciated the opportunity to share ideas for improvement during the first student ambassador meeting of the year. Some concerns included inconsistent dress code enforcement and the need for a shade structure for the special educational students. Students also recommended more student-led advertising through social media and keeping the library open during lunch for emotional and academic support. At La Familia High School, students shared that teachers are very supportive and helpful toward their academic success. A concern was raised about one of the water fountains that occasionally stops working, though work orders have already been submitted to address the issue. At West Shores High School, students reported satisfaction with the quality of the school meals, noting that they are consistently good and meet expectations. However, overcrowding on school buses remains a major concern, with reports of students sitting 3 to a seat or even in the aisles, which has occasionally resulted in tardiness. That's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez?
Sure. I want to start by, if I sound a bit frustrated, it's because I am frustrated. Dr. Sparsa, last board meeting, I asked you to give me a summary of the overtime problem that we have in transportation. And I got some preliminary numbers from you. I actually don't want to get them myself. I want to have a discussion about this in public because I think our community deserves it, right? And very quickly, and I'll share with the families that are here tonight concerned about the parent liaisons, which I think are vital, right, to how we as a board communicate what's important to us, to our community, right, and how we invite them to be part of our family. And I find it really difficult to understand that back since 2016, when I got here, that we haven't been able to get our hand around spending over $1 million in overtime just to the bus drivers. That's a proven fact. Since 2016, and that was what I requested, it's evident that we're spending $1 million a year, over $1 million a year to pay bus drivers. And it's being done in a very interesting way. We do need an investigation. We do need an audit as to how this is happening, because we have a strategy where they call in sick on some type of a cycle, they cover each other and grab overtime because we don't have bus drivers. We had, just for the community to know, we probably have around 79 bus drivers. The first day of school after being off the whole year, when our kids were depending on them to pick them up when it was over 110 degrees, we had 23 or 24 bus drivers call in sick. Since then, I think Friday, we had 23 bus drivers call in sick. The national average for a cohort of 100, a company of 100 people, is right around 1.5% to 2.5%. I want you to know that, and I want the community to know that in our transportation department, we have about 12 to 13 times more. It's more like 22 to 25% of our bus drivers are calling in sick any one day of the week. And it's unacceptable that we're spending this kind of money and we don't have money to pay for community liaison people to come and help our community, invite them into our schools, create a better environment where they're more accepted, where they understand what's going on. And it seems like those parent liaisons were the least defended by the union. They almost didn't get defended by the union. Those positions, they knew it was going to bring this kind of conflict. They have no compassion for what our community needs, Dr. Esparza. And I challenge that we need to find money from somewhere, right, to talk about this issue of parent liaisons. We need to bring them back. We need to find resources to bring them back. I can't accept that we're spending over $1 million a year in one department in overtime, and we don't have money to bring the parent liaisons back. I will not accept, Dr. Esparza, dirty bathrooms, lack of toiletry, that kind of respect. I can't even imagine how that happens. We're not living in the dark ages. We're not living, I'm not even going to embarrass a third world country. We're here in this community. Our community deserves clean bathrooms. And if the janitors ain't cleaning the bathrooms, we need to find janitors that are going to clean the bathrooms. And I see what's happening. There's been a struggle. It's a political struggle. And our community's paying for it because everybody's doing the bare minimum in those departments. And so we need to get our hand around this overtime. I'm going to challenge you also. I want to talk about extra service in teachers. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know the number, probably in excess of $1 million in extra teacher pay for extra services. And nobody's watching that. And we're just throwing this money away, and we don't even know what we're getting for it half the time. So I'm going to ask you to bring a report. I want to have a study session. If it needs to be a study session in public or part of a general meeting, we're going to have a discussion about this over time. Because until we start talking about it, we're not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to live another year on this board accepting that. That's unacceptable. To have people not showing up to work purposefully with a strategy and somehow capturing extra service overtime. So again, I'm frustrated, but I'm asking that we get a report, that this board get a report on teacher extra service pay and how we're watching it and why we're spending those types of dollars. But I'm not going to sit here and watch us spend $2 million a year in these kinds of things and then not have money to bring back a parent liaison. It's unacceptable. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Calamanes? Thank you. Trustee Calamanes? Thank you.
I'd like to report that this week I've gone to the new after-school programs. I've observed at Mountain Vista both the dual language program and the second grade program. Ms. Gentry is she's a fourth grade teacher who's doing second grade because she knows the importance of getting intervention in early. And both her and Mr. Alvarez are amazing. You know, Mr. Alvarez being in the dual language program after school. But one of the things that we did today is, so I'm putting my other hat on, the Read With Me hat. I had 4 volunteers there to assist Mrs. Gentry. Because one of the things that we've seen is the worksheets that the children will be doing, it seems really important that those are in smaller groups because the students are all in different levels. And so so the teacher does the instruction, the fun stuff and everything, and then the volunteers work on the worksheets with the children. So I observed what was going on. So one of the things I'm going to be doing with Ms. Rodriguez is putting together, what I saw happening and putting together a letter and asking other teachers in the other schools, would you like a Read With Me volunteer to do this? And then we'll go out and recruit. It's not going to happen overnight, but for Ms. Gentry, she was really excited because they were sitting in two student or 3 student groups with 1 volunteer. And so I was observing how the 1 volunteer can really work hard with those 3 students to go through those worksheets. And Mrs. Gentry was like, I can't do this with 20. Well, she today had 13. Mr. Alvarez had 14. They have more enrolled, but they weren't all there. But that's something I want to, from my other hat, is start working at it so we can make those after-school programs even more effective.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Thank you. Trustee Arredondo?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for everybody that's here. Thank you for your public comment. We appreciate it, and we know that there are definitely a lot of things that we want to do to make sure that our schools are adequately staffed. And I thank you for, board meeting after board meeting coming here. We appreciate it. We are hearing you. We are having conversations. I as a board member, have 2 monthly meetings with Dr. Esparza to talk about the district a month. So I'd like to thank Dr. Esparza for meeting with me. I got a chance to walk to school with the kids this week from Palmview Elementary, so go Bulldogs. They had a great turnout for the walk to school event. Thank you, Ms. Esperanza, for what you do in that school and how you're still volunteering there. And Mr. Leonard, thank you guys for what you do. It's duly noted. I got out to also attend the football games, Coachella Valley High School, and the Date Bowl, and other football games. And I'd like to say that our football teams are doing, very well. I mean, they're really out there playing their hearts out, and I like to commend the football teams for being out there, and everybody that supports the football games. And the stands have been very, very filled with parents. So thank you, parents, for coming out and supporting the school. Lastly, I got to attend the Student of the Quarter, and I just want to congratulate again the students that were selected for Student of the Quarter from our schools. It's a very well put on event by RCOE. Thank you to RCOE for recognizing our students and having just a place where students get to share a little bit more about themselves and get to honor them a little bit for being Student of the Quarter for that. So congratulations to the counselors again. I know that Desert Mirage is also going to that process of being to getting their RAMP award. So congratulations to them. I just have one request. I'd like to bring up an item that that was in part of the facilities for the farm at Coachella Valley High School, Dr. Esparza. There's a community group that's putting together a grant application, and I'd like to support it. I realize that we don't have funding, and I'm not committing to any funds. I'm not saying that we have to contribute any funds, but I like to capitalize on their energy to want to go after grant awards for the agriculture farm there at Coachella Valley High School. And that's it. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Acuña?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you to all the parents who come out to let us know what's going on, your feelings. I've always said it doesn't matter if you're here to thank us, to yell at us, or anything. The fact that you get out of your house and come here shows your commitments to your students, to your kids, and to our students in the district. So thank you. I just wanted to make a couple of comments with regards to the overtime. Obviously, that's been a problem. We had a study back in 2018 that said we had a problem, and here we are still talking about that same problem. One of the things I did want to mention, though, and Board Member Gonzalez mentioned the absentee rate, people not showing up for work in transportation. While it seems to be a little bit higher in transportation, as a district as a whole, all our employees coming to work is a problem. We, on average day, 350 people don't show up for work in our district. And I think that's around 10, 15%. That's unacceptable by any standards as well. So while many of you feel the frustration of transportation because they're the first people you see in the morning, the buses are late, they get to school late, the kids don't get to eat breakfast, this is a problem that goes across the board. You know, when our teachers don't show up, nobody notices because they figure out a way to put the students. When a custodian doesn't show up, you know, the bathrooms are a little dirty, right? And so you don't see that every day. But we have a culture, unfortunately, in this district of not showing up for work. And actually, we did this a while back, which I thought was embarrassing at the time. We give a stipend to somebody who shows up every day who has perfect attendance. We actually give people a stipend for showing up to do their job, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, you know, and again, we do that for kids. If they do, you know, they have perfect attendance, we give them pizzas, not $1,000. But the kids aren't getting paid to do this. So I think one of the things I want to convey, yes, transportation is a problem. It's not the only problem. It's just the problem we see first thing in the morning, right? Everything starts from there. The domino effect hits. We know they're going to be late in the afternoons, right? All this is going to be happening. So, but as a whole, our district has a problem with people showing up for work. And strangely enough, I just look at the numbers. I don't have to, I'm not which department. Mondays, Fridays, and the days after holidays are always the day that there's even more people that don't show up for work, right? I mean, that's kind of a nice gig. So I did want to make that point that, well, yes, transportation is a problem. This is a problem within our whole district, with our culture. With regards to the liaisons, some of you know, no one fought harder than I did to try to get them started. They were 3.5 hours, I believe, when they started back in 2018. It's a relatively new program. It's not a long, you know, hasn't been here forever. So a lot of the things that parents are complaining about, we used to do before without the parent liaisons. Not everything to the extent. In 2018, we started it, I think there were 3.5 hours, if I'm correct. In 2023, we actually made them full-time positions. In 2 years, they've been able to do all this for the communities. But if you as a parent are going to a school site and they're telling you, oh, we can't help you because we don't have a parent liaison, then there's a problem at the school site. Because they need to help you. And yes, you may have to wait in line a little longer, but because someone is not there, doesn't mean that the school shuts down or the district shuts down, right? And this is a problem, again, that we've been having, and it's part of the culture, and I hate to say it that way, because I went through this school system. I graduated from CV High School. I went to Valley View. It was called Dateland back in the day. It's now Bobby Duke. I graduated from CV High School. My son went through the system here, West Side, CDA, CV High School. And I can't tell you what's happening today, that people don't want to do their jobs. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of people out there who are working extremely hard, going above and beyond. And I will always tell this to the parents. When a bus driver comes late to pick up your kids, please do not be mad at that bus driver, because that bus driver showed up for work and is probably on its third turn picking up where somebody didn't show up. So thank that driver for actually showing up for work and doing their job. But this is a culture part that's happening in our community, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to fix it, but it's hurting all of us. And again, the overtime is just another thing. We have to do better. I don't have the answer to how to make people want to do their jobs. And again, I work in a healthcare system. The attitude is no different there. I don't know what's going on. It's partly a society thing, maybe. I'm not sure. But when it comes to our kids, we need to do better. And again, the parent liaison is a budget issue. It's simply a money issue, and we understand that. But again, if you're going to a school site and they're telling you, well, we don't have a parent liaison, I can't help you, that's a problem. That's a problem, because one person, as important as they are, one person not being at their job does not make the school district or a school stop and say, I can't help you parents because that's not my job. It is their job. So this is a bigger problem, I think. It stems from that. Holding people accountable for their job, for their positions to do what they're supposed to be doing is another problem that we have out here. And again, I can't explain it. We're at CV High School at a football game. The game was kind of out of hand, and two parents start a fight in the stands. And they know each other. They are both part of one of the little football teams that come and play on Saturday and our thing. And they started fighting there. I'm like, back in the day, that was an embarrassment to do something like that. But there they were. And again, I'm not sure why or what happened, but again, this is what I'm talking about. This is a bigger thing that's happening, and I don't know how to fix it. Hopefully some of you parents have some ideas of how we can, go out and talk to our communities or our staff. But I see that as just, and it's happening across in other areas in our country, a lack of respect for people. It's all about me. What can I get out of it? Not how I can help. And it's extremely frustrating, as Board Member Gonzalez says. And again, it saddens me to say that. I've been on the board for a very long time. I've never seen it as bad as it is today. I've never seen it this bad by so many people. There's always been those few people, right? We've always had those. I don't know what's going on right now. It's just out of control. But when you as a parent come to me and tell me that I go to the school site and they can't help me because there's no parent liaisons, something's wrong. Just right there, that tells me something's wrong. That the bathrooms aren't dirty, okay? It can happen one day, somebody was out, something happened, I get it. But a continual thing, our custodians are based on the amount of students you have, correct? You get so many custodians for how many students you have. They should be able to do their job. Accountability, right? We need to find out why they're not being clean. And again, I've said this before, Dr. Esparza knows this. Dr. Esparza is our employee. We hold her accountable, and she has to hold everybody accountable. So all these things, we go back to her. Fair or not fair, that's the job. So we're holding her responsible and accountable. And I think we do need to get out there sometimes. I try to visit some of the sites. I haven't been out there as much this year, but we need to go out there and start talking to parents again. I've tried to do that. I know some of us do it. We try to respond to your emails when we get them. But I think we have a bigger problem, and I know it's certain things are important, but we got to get a hold of this, or else it's just all for naught, I think. And again, this isn't just one group. This is across the board. This is a culture. This is an attitude. And again, unfortunately, I don't have any answers. So if you guys have some suggestions, I'm more than willing to listen. That's my report.
Trustee Garcia?
Thank you. Thank you to all of the parents, everybody who takes the time to address us. Always very important. I saw faces I recognized again for the second and third time, telling us about issues that they're continuing to see, and that does bother me, much like the other members have already said. And I would agree that it's a management issue. I think we need to be looking at trends. We need to be looking at accountability twofold. What's going on with that 1 hour for each school a week? That's a huge difference for families. But I also agree that the school sites, there are all those people in the front office. These were things that any one of them should have been able to answer questions. Our principal has their coffee with parents. I know that's not every day. Families shouldn't feel such a complete disconnection, but we absolutely hear it so many times today, so many times for the past few weeks since school has begun. So I don't know how many times we need to hear it before we start modifying things, but it certainly sounds like what we have going on at the moment is not working or filling that gap. So I too ask Dr. Esparza to please look at and make meaningful changes to meet the needs of our families. For so much that has been raised, it is what are we doing at the district level to make sure that there aren't gaps, to make sure that there are enough custodians, that our families feel heard, because ultimately that is what's going to make our students successful if our families are plugged in. We have so many come in when they're upset, and it's unfortunate. I could only see a portion of the families that were there, but it looked like a big group for the Oasis. And I don't like hearing that families feel forgotten and that the school isn't up to par of what they remember, what they know it can be. So please take a look at it, but not just that. I want to see trends, and then what are we doing actively in real time to make these changes? If there are things we need to know that as a board so that we can give you what you need for our families. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Torres?
Yes, thank you, President. Again, just reiterating, thanks to the parents that come out and talk about their concerns, because board members, you know, we've been parents. A lot of us have been parents, and a lot of us live what's going on with what's happening in the schools. Reiterating what Director Gonzalez has said and Director Joey about the transportation, and that's one of the main things that I've experienced with my kids that are still in school now. And I would go back to the messages that I've received from the school, specifically from Dr. Esparza when she puts out the text blasts about buses being late, because I drive from Salton City and I see the kids out there sometimes in the rain. When it's 120, the buses are late. Friday, I called Dr. Esparza because they were out there way past the time that they were supposed to be picked up. And it's true, don't yell at the bus drivers, because they come to find out somebody called in sick at the last minute on Friday. They had to get an alternate to get down there and get over there. So they finally got the kids, to school. They were obviously very late. Some of the resolutions, like Dr. Esparza said, was to have 2 buses sitting out there at Oasis and Salton City so they can just drive out there and get to the bus quicker and get to the kids instead of having to drive to the site and then go back out there. But that's beside the point of like what we're talking about, all of these effects of finance, of people calling in and manipulating the system. when I talk about the messages that we get for the buses being late, should be part of the documentation that we can use for justification and anything that we do for, resolving the transportation problems that happen. Because when people come up here and say the kids should come first, then should be every employee, like Director Joey said, the kids should come first when you're talking about not, sabotaging the bus routes. For instance, as far as I can go back, when Dr. Esparza started, March 28th, it says we got informed the school buses will be running late. April 15th, the school buses will be running late. April 30th, the school buses will be running late. May 6th, the school buses will be running late. May 13th, school buses will be running late. May 15th, school buses will be running late. May 23rd, school buses will be running late. June 6th, school buses are going to be running late. June 6th and then June 26th. July 10th, school buses late. August 22, school buses late. August 25th, school buses late. August 28th, school buses late. September 2nd, school buses late. September 5th, school buses late. September 12th, school buses late. September 18th, school buses late. And then on Friday, like I said, school buses were late because someone had called in at the last minute. So those are just some of the notices. I got those because I'm a parent and these come to my email blast because I live within the bus routing area. So I'm sure that there are more instances of this happening, of, sabotage happening when people don't put the kids first, right? So we always talk about kids coming first when advocates come up here, parents come up here, teachers come up here. Well, we need to get around that and work. How do we truly make the kids come first for people who don't put the kids first? So, and then on a positive note, also, I want to reiterate a notice that I got from Dr. Esparza on September 12th, talking about the Williams Act, and I'll read the notice here. It says, "Dear CVUSD families, 16 of our 22 schools have successfully completed the Williams Act inspections, confirming compliance with state standards and ensuring students have instructional materials they need. 6 site visits remain pending, highlighting our ongoing commitment to maintaining high-quality learning environments. As part of the Attendance Awareness Month, September was here today, ready for tomorrow, and she gave some updates. But I just want to iterate that, that's part of the transparency that the board and superintendent has as far as our progress in keeping compliant with the state and county levels. And that's the rest of my report. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. In my report, I just have a couple items. We're still working on the request on the shade structures, so I know staff was going to continue to work on that to get that on the board agenda. Tonight we have the overtime overview. The only comment I think I have, I just hearing Trustee Torres just kind of, say every single time a bus is late. I mean, it's just striking, right? We all get the notice when they're late, but I think just to hear the back-to-back, it's definitely striking, right? I think it's clear that we just need to, we need to do better, right? We need to do better for our students. And so, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said. I'm hoping that staff can meet with the parents that came out tonight from Oasis. To see so many parents come out, and it's noted that they've been making some efforts. Just trying to make sure that our staff there is also following up and following through, so we can make sure that staff is doing that. And the last thing I'll say, I had the opportunity to attend the Fast Pitch event. And I do want to mention that Carrie Schaff, the executive director of the Friends of the Children, I know we partner with them at our school sites. They got some of the awards, so it was really great to kind of see them pitch. It's definitely scary, having done the fast pitch myself many years ago, but yeah, just kudos to them and the great work that they're doing with their district, and thank you to them and the staff that actually went out to support them as well. And that's my report. So Superintendent's report 6.4.
Good evening, everyone who's here with us in the audience. as well as watching from home. I do want to just give kudos and recognition to several people that we've honored in the past few weeks. We honored our Classified Employee of the Month, Tony Barajas, who's a custodian at Mountain Vista, for the great work that he's done. We've also celebrated a certificated employee, a dual language teacher, Irma Cervantes from Coral Mountain Academy. Congratulations to them for being Employees of the Month for the month of September. We have our CVUSD students who were honored, like Board Member Trustee Arredondo mentioned that we attended the RCOE event this past week, and we had Giovanni Lopez from Coachella Valley High School who was honored, Ashley Saucedo from Coachella Valley Independent Study, Ellen Flores from Desert Mirage High School, Karen Ruiz Mendez from La Familia High School, Kayla Sanchez from Nova Academy Early College High School, and Nayeli Quino Lucero from West Shores High School. And the students are recognized by their teachers and administrators, and they go up in front of all of the leadership from Coachella, which includes Desert Sands, Palm Springs Unified, as well as Coachella Valley Unified. Superintendents are there, the leadership staff. They bring their parents with them, and the students go up and they give a speech on why they feel that they've received this award, and they truly do recognize their parents, usually their parents or those family members or friends who have basically adopted them and helped them to move forward to become stronger and better students. And then they talk about where they're going after high school. A lot of them are going to college or into a career or into the armed forces. And so I just wanted to recognize them here tonight. Thank you.
Moving on to information presentations. Olivia Mejorado, presentation of the Community Schools Implementation Plan for the 2025-26 school year for West Shores High School. It's a mouthful.
Good evening, President Vargas, members of the Board of Education, Student Trustee Mesa, Superintendent Dr. Esparza, Cabinet members, and community. My name is Olivia Mejorado, and I am the proud principal of West Shores Middle High School. And presenting with me tonight is...
Hello, everyone. My name is Azucena Mayorga. I'm the coordinator of community schools at West Shores High School.
Together, we'd like to take a moment to highlight the progress that we've made through our community schools work and share our action plan and goals for the upcoming school year.
All right, so a lot of you might ask, what is a community school? So a community school is any school serving pre-kinder through high school students through a whole child approach, which is an integrated focus on academics, health and social services, youth and community development, and community engagement. It is an equity-driven and assets-building school transformation program.
So a community school is grounded in 4 key pillars that guide everything that we do. These pillars are integrated student supports. So that focuses on addressing students' non-academic needs. So it addresses both health, both physical and mental supports, social services, and that's to remove barriers to learning. It also focuses on family and community engagement. It emphasizes building those strong relationships between the school and families and wider community through shared decision-making and active participation in school life. Also, collaborative leadership and practices fosters collaboration and shared responsibility among all stakeholders, including students, families, teachers, administrators, and community partners to guide the school's visions and operations. And then it also offers extended learning time and opportunities. So it provides students with more time for learning beyond the school, traditional school day and even the school year. So it's enrichment programs through like extracurricular activities.
The process of community schools is heavily based on input, primarily from students. They're the ones that we have direct access to, parents, staff, and community partners. We commit to focus groups. We have a steering committee. We regularly provide needs assessment surveys to the entire community, with the Panorama Survey, student leadership groups. I have to add that the students are very, very vocal at West Shores High School, which makes me so proud, and they're the ones advocating for everything that they need at the school. We focus on data-driven decision-making. Of course, the surveys, needs assessments, achievement data, regular meetings with the steering committee and student leaders to decide what is a priority and how to execute. And we focus on continuous improvement.
So we spent a lot of time asking questions. We listen, reflecting, and truly understanding the needs of our very unique community, always grounding our work on the 4 pillars of a community school. Through that process, some clear priorities began to emerge. We found that our community's greatest needs centered on academic support, such as tutoring, credit recovery, and college and career readiness. Family engagement and support services to strengthen the home-to-school connection, social and emotional learning and mental health resources to support students' well-being, and community partnerships that expand access to health services, legal aid, and adult education. These findings have shaped our action plan and continue to guide how we bring those 4 pillars of a community school to life at West Shores.
So with our needs assessment and through creating the implementation plan, these are our goals that we came up with. Shared commitment and understanding. We're growing interest holders to unite and strategize results received from the needs assessment and data collected for the development and improvement of our academics and overall school climate. Centering community-based learning by enhancing and maintaining comprehensive social learning, SEL supports, and strategies to foster student well-being, safety, resilience, and academic success. Collaborative leadership by strengthening communication and family engagement to support collaborative leadership. Sustaining staff and resources by continuous focus on staffing with an emphasis on sustainable personnel structures to support parent and community outreach. Strategic community partnerships. We continue to seek collaborative relationships with partners to benefit the students and community to maximize students' success opportunities.
This year, we're proud to be implementing programs and activities that directly reflect the voices and the needs of our community. More than ever, we're working to weave what a community school is, the framework, into everything that we are doing. We are ensuring that every single initiative that we implement at West Shores connects students, families, and the community partners in meaningful ways. These include, and I know it's a long list, so I'm going to try to go through real quickly, things like dual enrollment with Imperial Valley College. This initiative came through after began through student-led petitions advocating for opportunities for opportunities in the medical field. Link Crew student leadership to strengthen peer mentoring and school culture. Our Wildcat ambassadors, they are so proud. They look for me everywhere. When is going to be our next meeting? Promoting student voice and community involvement. Expanded implementation of restorative practices. Building stronger relationships and positive school climate. A revitalized parent and community center, opening its doors for greater family and community use. The mural project with Raíces Cultura, celebrating our culture and identity through art. growing our folklorico program that showcase our heritage, our community, and expand our presence in the community, and the adoption of our Puente program. We are connecting academics, mentorship, and community engagement by collaborating to build a program in a meaningful way that links community and student experiences and truly reflects and uplifts our community. Each of these initiatives reflects a commitment of the 4 pillars of the community school and making West Shores a true hub of learning and connection and pride.
Family and student supports. Makes me happy to say that we are increasing our collaboration with InterCare, Imperial County Behavioral Health Services for parent workshops accessible to all parents. I'm really focused on including all CVU parents and all community members by advertising as much as I can in the travel centers and wherever I can put a poster, I'll do it. And all community members, collaboration with Coachella Valley Adult School to offer ESL classes on campus available for all community members. Fall and spring festivals open for the entire community to enjoy along with school participation in all Salton City events such as the holiday parade. Regular coffee with the principal is a great form of a climate check in with parents in collaboration with CVU Elementary. Mentoring opportunities through Link Crew and Wildcat Ambassadors, and counseling and wellness resources in collaborating with Latino Commission.
So what are our next steps? As we look ahead, our next steps, we focus on deepening what we've started here, but we know that we have a lot of work to do still. We will continue our ongoing collaboration with staff, communities, and families, our partners, to ensure our efforts remain aligned and responsive to the real needs of the community. A major focus will be to strengthen the partnerships with local organizations to bring integrated services, one of that first pillar that we talked about, right? Including health and mental health, academic enrichment and supports to make our campus a true community hub. We're also committed to strengthening the relationships with parents and community members, ensuring that they remain partners in shaping the programs and the opportunities at West Shores. Additionally, we are looking to seek new grant opportunities to expand and sustain resources, build capacity across schools so all stakeholders can contribute meaningfully, and develop a sustainable plan to ensure this work continues and grows beyond this initial funding.
So here you have some pictures we had a Link Crew Day. Riverside County was gracious enough to provide us a connection with a new project. The students loved it. It's a leadership program. You have our Wildcat Ambassadors meetings where the students really let us know how they're feeling. If there's anything that they need to correct, fix, they bring it to the table and we have our discussions. Career Day, our festivals. We had a parent and our student do vision boards at a parent workshop, parents being recognized for their participation. Bottom left was a field trip that we took with Raíces Cultura to a museum, to an art museum. And the middle, down at the bottom, it's our collaboration with Imperial Valley College. So great things are happening at West Shores.
I just want to take a moment to thank the Board of Education, our Superintendent, Dr. Esparza, and Cabinet for your continued support and the belief in our community school vision. As you can see here, community schools are not just schools, they are the heartbeat of a community where families, educators, and partners come together to ensure every child thrives. At West Shores, it's truly the heart of our community, right? And I just want to say thank you for your time and support, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll open it up for questions. Trustee Calmanes?
Now, what I wanted to bring up is you'll be hearing from Read With Me soon, because we would like to do the collaboration between your school and CVU, where you could be having students work with this CVU after school or during the school day to help them with tutoring and mentoring, and that opens up a wide opportunity also for these students in your school.
I look forward to that.
Trustee Arroyo?
Dr. Esparza, and this may be a question for you. Have we received ongoing funding from Community Schools Grant?
Yes,
I know
we
we
have.
received initial.
Yes,
So,
yes, we have,
okay, thank you.
on a yearly basis.
Okay, thank you. And because I know I'm hoping that they have a center, right? They're supposed to have some sort of building to have access for residents after the normal hours of school, right? So supposed to have access to all the services after school, right? In collaboration with not only ELOP and expanded learning, but also things like, to address maybe some food insecurity, things like that, that I've seen in San Bernardino County. So and there's actually a student from Oasis that area in Oasis who runs the San Bernardino County Community School. So maybe I'll have her connect with you all. Thank you.
I just.
Thank you.
That's interesting, Mr. Redondo. If in fact there is grant money for a physical structure, a place where the services can be delivered out of that are unique and specific for the program of community schools, I think that's an exciting proposition. We definitely need to look into that if that's possible, and maybe run it through facilities and figure out how we can assist in any way possible to try to achieve that. And I wanted to personally thank you for the work you're doing. I think it's important. I think the ability to embrace the community is really the true essence of learning, and I think it makes the community better, it makes us better, and what an exciting proposition. Good work, ladies.
Thank you.
Student trustee, do you have any, before we ask?
As far as tutoring goes, at Coachella Valley High School, we do a lot of collaborating within the students, asking each other for help, and I think it goes a long way to be able to tell your students, you know what, reach out to teachers. For the most part, teachers are always willing to have some type of office hours, whether it's during lunch or sometime during their breaks. It's very helpful to share that information with us as students. We sometimes we don't see these type of opportunities that are given to us, and we kind of ignore them unless they're put right in front of our faces. So I guess it's just good to remind them that, you know, you have these opportunities and you have these people that want to help.
Thank you.
Trustee Acuna or Torches? No? Trustee Garcia, any comments?
Thank you for the presentation. I look forward to seeing.
Can't hear her.
Oh,
Sorry, hold on. We can't hear you.
okay. Can you hear me now? We're good?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. I so look forward to hearing what the community wants, and really working to get those services to them, because it is very important. Our families' voices should be a pillar of and our North Star of how we are addressing things. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the only comment for me, thank you for the presentation, all the great work. I'm always kind of thinking about the data and how do we, if this is really working right as a model, how do we scale it? How do we maybe try to do something similar at other sites if it's possible, right? So, yeah, kind of always thinking down the road. But yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Yes. Moving on to 8.1, District Transportation Report. So it's not necessarily a presentation, but I'm sure that there are some comments or questions. I don't know, we have staff available to ask some questions, but we do have that attachment to this item. But if, we'll open it up for questions or comments.
Dr.
Not yet,
President, I'm asking that we put this report, this summary, up on the board, and that we understand it for the record. And I'd like to have Dr. Esparza or maybe our finance department talk about the fiscal impact that we have every year in this department.
Okay, so if staff, if we could put it up on the screen so that it looks like we can see it up on, I don't know who would be the best person to. Okay, Assistant Superintendent. Yeah.
Thank you, trustees. So what we have here is we took the last, I believe, 9 years from 2016 to 2024-25 overtime for all of the transportation department. We excluded all of their regular salaries and benefits, and this is strictly just the overtime now, what was paid to them. And so one of the additional questions I think that you had was, sorry, I'm forgetting what other question you had.
So I think, I think the numbers are telling as we look at the bottom right, and we see a consistent pattern. I do see a reduction during the time of COVID, because obviously we didn't provide transportation to the extreme that we do daily. But I think the bottom is very telling. But I think what's more important to convey to the community is really understanding how this is happening. And not happening for 1 year, happening for, as you said, for the last 8, 9 years. And then more important than why it's happening is how do we stop it, right? Because we have this $1 million could be put into programs like our parent liaisons, right? Things that do work. And then to Mr. Tortois's point, I think it's imperative if we were getting a solid delivery of services, and then we would say, okay, that's just the nature of the animal. We're getting amazing services. But with chronic absenteeism, which I think is the reason and how they get away with this, I really am going to push and challenge this board that we solicit a proposal from private enterprise to try to privatize our bus services that ain't working. That's my personal opinion. I think we owe it to the community. The community deserves better. Our children deserve better. It's not working. And it hasn't worked for 9 years. So I would like for you to read the number at the bottom, how much it's costing us in overtime, for the record.
So for the grand total for all years presented would be $9,587,991.16.
Can you go year by year, 2016, and then move it
Certainly.
forward?
For year 2016-17, it would be $1,114,361. I'm going to leave the cents off just for rounding purposes.
Sure.
Yeah. For 17 and 18, it would be $1,056,972. For year 18-19, it would be $1,288,780,000 or $780. For 19-20, and this was, of course, during COVID, so we would have all the way overtime all the way through March when we finally had shut down during that time. So this is $1,042,275. For 2021, this would be $110,337. For 21-22, $782,959. For 22-23, it would be $1,313,405. And for 23-24, it'd be $1,561,316. And lastly, for 24-25, it would be $1,317,582. And then, of course, the cumulative total, again, would be $9,587,991.
Overtime pay only.
Overtime pay only.
Thank you.
Other board members have questions? Trustee Torres, and then we'll.
Yeah, I just want to ask, would that be enough to pay for parent liaisons?
I believe so.
Trustee Arredondo?
This is Superintendent Visual. What I'd like to see, Dr. Esparza, is I know that as Trustee Acuna has stated that we're looking at one department, but I know that every agenda we approve so much overtime across the district, right? So maybe it's a way that we look at all overtime and try to decrease overtime or discourage overtime, because I think it's right now we're only looking at transportation, right? And I know that our district spans 1,200 square miles. And I myself, I'm looking at one department. I'd like to look at the landscape of the district and see, at departments where we're at and, compare it. And maybe, we can discourage or say, hey, you know what? There is no more overtime, right? Or the least amount of overtime that we can approve. Because I know every agenda we approve across the district, hundreds of thousands of dollars for overtime. If not, close to millions every agenda. Thank you.
President Vargas, if I will.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Arredondo, I agree with you. I think we need to do a better job, especially knowing that we're going to have a shortfall of $15-20 million next year, right? That we do a better job across the board of looking at. I'm requesting that, I'd like to talk about extra service pay, right? Who's watching it, how it happens. But I know that the numbers are probably going to be very compelling like this is, right? And I don't know, I also want to caution that we look at how overtime happens in extra service compared to the strategy of how they're achieving consistently $1 million of overtime every year. And the question of this chronic absenteeism that's happening that at the end of the day is delivering a bad service for our community and our kids. And when it's cold, the kids are cold outside. When it's hot, 110 degrees, they're hot outside. I couldn't believe that. I thought, it's the beginning of the school year. We've been off all year. I thought we would have good attendance. The first thing I looked at, we had 24 bus drivers off the first day. Even after being off the whole summer, 24 were called in sick, right? And so I think we do need to look at all of it because all of it adds up to numbers. And unless we're fiscally, this is just part of being a board member and being fiscally responsible because our community, they trust us to deliver services. They trust us to be able to balance the budget. And it would be irresponsible to not look at every department. But I think this is the beginning. I think we're going to find that what's going on in this department might be different than what's going on with the question of extra service or overtime in other departments, right? But definitely, I challenge you to look at all departments. But this, I think, serves as the beginning. And I think this is really in our face when we can see that for the last 9 years, we consistently have $1 million of overtime in one department. It's pretty troubling to me, and it would be irresponsible for me not to voice this. That's why I requested the information. Dr. Esparza, we're going to challenge our fiscal department, our HR department. I think all of us got to get in the room and have a discussion about how this is happening, and then maybe go on and start looking at other departments as Mr. Arredondo has requested.
Student trustee, do you have any input? I realize I probably should have asked you first. Yeah.
That's fine. When I had a conversation with the students from La Familia, they had brought up a concern for the type of transportation they were receiving. They would take the bus with Coachella Valley High School students, and from there they were going to La Familia, which was kind of cutting off, not kind of, it was cutting off the amount of time it took them to get to school. And in some cases, they would get there extremely late. If students at CV were getting there tardy, students from LAFA were getting there extremely late. So I think that's a major concern for La Familia, where they need their own buses. They need their own type of transportation as well.
Trustee Acuña?
Yeah, so much to get into, but actually I did not mention overtime across the board because we don't pay overtime to people who are out. I talked about absenteeism, which leads to extra services, leads to, in the case of teachers or classified, we have to hire subs, so we not only pay them their salary that day, but then we have to pay for the sub, which is not overtime, but it is a cost, an extra services cost. So it's not you're not going to find overtime in some of these departments because they don't pay overtime in those departments. What you're going to find is the extra services. Those of you who've been here a minute know I complain about extra services all the time. It goes on deaf ears. I was going to pull stuff today, but it basically says the reason it's late because they didn't put it in on time. Well, duh, that's why it's late, because they put it, that's not a reason, that's just an excuse as to why it's on the thing. And again, going back to that, In the past, I've asked, well, what does this actually mean? We found out that some of the positions were people going out, doing party stuff, you know, it was a thing for them to go out and buy stuff for somebody's birthdays and stuff. We don't pay for that. That's not a student service. Those are not an extra services. But I will caution you, there are extra services that people actually do those services that are needed and they get paid for. And in the case of, say, the after-school program, they have their funding that pays for those people, and trust me, they make them work for their money, right? They don't just sit around and do nothing or create positions. And again, the concern I've had with extra services is you see some of the school sites, it's the same names for everything. You know, we had in the past, they forgot, they overlapped it in, you know, they had people working, you know, 80, 100 hours a week because nobody's paying attention. So those are the things that lead to this, is what we're talking about, but to a broader extent is the accountability thing. And this is where, again, it's not going to save everything, but it's just good practice, good fiscal practices to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that people aren't putting extra services simply to reward. I remember during COVID, there was a bunch of extra services, and I'm like, there's nobody at the school sites. Why? Oh, just in case. No, we've said we're not coming back for the rest of the year. But there was still extra services that were put on the board agenda, which needed not be there, right? We had, I remember a group of teachers who came during a dispute where they said they're going to do the work to rule. Okay. Then let's take all your extra services that you guys have already been approved for, let's take them off. No, you can't do that. How can you do that? No, well, you said you're not going to work. You're only working work to rule. All these things add up. You know, it's $1 here. It's $20. It's $100. It's $1 million. It adds up. And again, these are things that, you know, some of us have been talking about for a long time, but people roll their eyes because you complain and, oh, it's just this much. Oh, it's just 10 hours of extra services. Well, 10 hours adds up. 10 hours adds up. You're not going to find overtime in the other thing. What you're going to find is the cost for those absences. The cost that it did is for the subs in both classifications, certificated and classified. And you're going to find that. The extra services, I think, needs to be top to bottom. I've said this. You guys have heard me. You guys are tired of hearing about me pulling stuff out. And again, the excuse is, oh, it's late because we didn't put it in on time. That's not a reason. That's an excuse that that's why it's late. So those are the things that lend to this, you know. And plus, there's some rules in the transportation that for the life of me, I don't know how they got there. When we do field trips, if they can't provide transportation, we get a charter bus, we still have to pay the driver, even though they don't do anything. Sometimes they're not even on the bus. I mean, those are just rules that make absolutely no sense to me. And again, these are issues that are bargaining issues that we need to take care of. But again, I mean, if I tell parents that we send bus drivers on a charter just because nobody wanted to do that job, but they still have to get paid, it's incredible. With that, you know, and again, that's hoping that they get there on time on Saturday or show up at all. And sometimes those are administrative mistakes. Somebody didn't order the bus or somebody didn't do this. So we have a group of kids out there waiting for hours. They have a limited time just because of the distance it takes to go anywhere. So if you're an hour late, then you're an hour late to whatever it is you started. Then you might have to, and if it stays late because of that hour that the driver can only run, you have to leave early before the event is over. And so these are things that we need to fix in transportation in general. A lot of problems. And again, it is, to me, it goes back to the attitude problem, the culture, what's in it for me, not how best to serve. And again, I'm not going to blanket this because there's all those bus drivers that come late to pick up your kids. They're doing their job and everybody else's job. So you got to thank them for doing that. But when you look at this, I bet you when you get down to it, it's going to be a small percentage of people that do this that are causing all these problems. And that we have to deal with. We have to deal with that accountability. So when we start looking broadly at the other stuff, it's going to look different. It's going to be in a different form, but it's costing us the same millions of dollars. And trust me, if you add up all that savings of the extra services, that 1 year during COVID, it was crazy how much we saved because we didn't have extra services, even though they tried to put it on there anyway. They put it on there for Saturday schools. We didn't have schools and they wanted extra service for Saturday schools. We didn't have anything. They still put it on. And I've said this before, and I get in trouble every time I say it. We are not a jobs program. We are a school district who educates students. The jobs that we create should be jobs that are needed here, not simply because, right? That's what we are. And again, with regard to the parent liaisons, yeah, I voted to cut them. We tried to negotiate to bring them to 5 hours, reduce them from 8 hours to 5 hours, which some of us thought it was an okay compromise. They decided it wasn't a compromise, so we could not negotiate that. That's fine. That's their prerogative, and if they feel that that's what they need to do. But you're asking me to choose between parent liaisons and a teacher, a counselor. I have to make that tough decision, and while I fought for those positions, I mean, it's a priority thing, right? You have to stack the priority. What's more important is the teacher in the classroom or a parent liaison? I don't know. And at this point, right now, we need teachers in the classroom, you know. But again, I don't know if $1 million will cover the parent liaisons, but it's going to cover a lot of things, a lot of services to our kids. And I bet if we go through Board Member Gonzalez, it's going to be a lot more than $1 million across the board. So anyway, yeah, we have to get a handle on this. We have to figure it out. We have a new transportation director. Hopefully, you know, he's got a lot of work ahead of him. And again, we need to bargain with with CSCA for the bus drivers. But I think, you know, we need to go in there with reasonable expectations about certain things that aren't working. And there's a lot of things that aren't working right now. So.
Trustee Calamanes, and then we'll go to Trustee Garcia. No comments?
I have nothing further to add.
No? Trustee Garcia?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. It was very illuminating to see these numbers and to hear them, millions of dollars. That certainly shows a trend, but I don't know why that is, and we do need to understand that better. If we're paying overtime so that our buses are gassed up and ready for the next morning, I think so that we don't have late buses in the morning because CNG isn't working, or all these things that we hear, that would be fine and excellent use of money if that means that mornings are going smoothly. I need to know more as to why this is happening, what's going on. Unfortunately, I would say that this district has a stability issue. How much overturn of leadership has happened, and why has that happened? So many times we're dealing with issues that have happened in the past, and I can't ask the manager what happened because that manager is no longer with us. Time and time again, things like that happen. Why aren't people staying with us? That accountability will fall apart if we don't have that longevity. And unfortunately, that has been the case for our district. So it's difficult to hear, it's difficult to see, but there is a deeper cause to these things and we need to address them. That is our job as a board. I do also want to talk about kind of this false equivalency of overtime versus extra services. We get a report every single meeting about extra services, and it says the programming that it's addressing the staff that is going to do those services. If there isn't the right accountability at the school site for those things, that's something we need to know, but that is not the same as overtime. I don't know, there was so much thrown out there casually, something about illegal retaliation for extra services. That would not be okay. That would not stand up against the law. When we get language with our employee groups, we have also agreed to that. So somewhere down the line, agreements happen where we didn't know the full effect of something. I don't know why. I can't ask those old teams what happened because they're gone. All we can do is move forward, hopefully work in good faith with our employee groups. It's not one-sided. We are agreeing alongside them what is best for our district. So I think throwing mud in any direction but ourselves is not something that makes sense to me. We have a lot of things that we need to work on. We have a stability issue that we need to work on. That attitude and overarching, that starts with us. That starts with the leadership that we bring on and maintain or try to maintain. So this is a start, but there's a lot of work to be done. And if we need to buckle down and have these special sessions for things like this, I think it's absolutely necessary and a good use of our time. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I agree with a lot of what Trustee Garcia just said. So I'm not going to add more. But I mean, I think it was brought up by a number of folks, maybe having a deeper dive and looking at the information a little bit more, like either a study session or something. It sounds like folks are, what's the word? I mean, it sounds like something that's of interest of all of us to be able to address this issue. Because I do also agree that we have to. It's more than just looking at this number, right? Like there's patterns, there's things that are happening within our department that are leading to this, and it's evident that we're not getting a handle on it, right? So just trying to look at what we can do and strategize to address it, and maybe it's not like tomorrow it's going to get fixed, but we're facing some sort of strategy to address the issue. Yes. Okay.
It's to your comment right now that it's not going to be fixed overnight. Heck, it hasn't been fixed since
over 10 years.
2016, and I bet if we went back another 4 or 5 years when this culture started, you would see the same compelling numbers. It's something that they do well, right? Passing the days back and forth to each other is my assessment. How it's happened. It's an HR question that we have to figure out. But with that being said, I think part of this is happening because we have a CVO that can add numbers, right? And she's able to give us this compelling information. Thank you for the work that you've done. And then also, I think it comes with the capacity of the superintendent. We have a superintendent that is qualified to be a superintendent and who can bring us a better understanding of maybe some of the flawed, I get this idea that people that were here that ain't no longer here, that they're not available as was said earlier, but that's not the point. History is history. The numbers are the numbers. And we don't need to understand what happened. We need to understand how it's happening today, and then how do we curtail it? How do we stop it? How does HR look at the practice? How do we look at the personalities? How do we look at who's calling in, when they're calling in, why are they calling in, right? And then how are they passing those days back and forth? And I'm just talking about this department. And I just, again, thank you, Dr. Esparza, for the information. I think as we peel back these very painful layers, right? This is why we're having fiscal challenges, because we're not watching these types of practices. This extra service pay, to Mr. Acuña's point, it was crazy that they would be asking, well, that's extra service and we're not even coming to school. They wanted to get paid for Saturday, and nobody's ever cared enough to say, hey, or nobody's ever been really watching. And I think the community needs us to watch, knowing that we have these shortfalls coming next year. And I think this curtailing these types of practices are going to allow us a better practice that are going to create consequences that are going to end up being positive for what we're responsible for, educating the children that come to the school district. And I just challenge this board to do everything possible to try to better this type of practice so that we can have a little money to hire, people that truly make a difference for our children.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next item. Just one thing that came to mind, I recently had a meeting with someone and, the comment was made, and the comment was made around, well, this is what, it's common for CV Unified, right? Like, this is the practice that, it's been this many years and it's not a surprise that we're here at this moment again. And so I think just kind of sitting with that statement, to me, it doesn't sit well, right? I don't want to hear, 10 years from now that here we are with the same problem, with the same issue. So I'm really hopeful that, we can find some solutions, work with our bargaining units to find some solutions. I think at the end of the day, we all have that shared interest of making sure we're providing the services and meeting the needs of our community. So I'm hopeful that we can do that. I know it's a tough conversation either way, right, however we want to see it. But I'm hopeful, right? And part of that hope is probably coming from, I don't want to see us 10 years from now being, that same district that always does this, right? We're that district. And I don't know, it's unfair to our students and our families and our staff, right? So.
Yeah, and I just think it's important, like, I don't ever want to say I'm going to support, parent liaisons because I'm going to compromise or take away from having teachers, right? What I think we have an opportunity to do here is to look at monies that probably shouldn't be spent like this and take those resources and put them in to filling that gap of more teachers or filling that gap of parent liaisons or things that we as a board find important for our community, right? We've been hearing, the same families have come back here the last 3 board meetings and they have a compelling story and they do make a difference. I understand that. Kids show up scared to work and they might meet a personality and that makes them feel comfortable, that speaks to them and embraces their presence, and all of a sudden there's a magic there. Oh, me ayudaron. I got this help that I didn't expect to get, and it was la señora whatever. And I just think that I don't ever want to believe that we're going to take away from teachers to give away to services. I think we have an opportunity to do this better and take those resources and put them where we need to put them to best serve education at CVUSD.
Yes.
And I'm done.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing the item, right? You're the one that requested it, so it was a great conversation. We're going to move on to 9 action items, administrative services. There's none. We do have, moving on to 10, action, educational services. Because we do have a trustee on Zoom, we'll do a roll call. We'll try our best to do this process smoothly. And I'll start off with the student trustee as well. So 10.1, Socorro Sanchez requesting approval to adopt board resolution number 2026-12, sufficiency of instructional materials, compliance for fiscal year 25-26, and the certification of provision standards align instructional materials. Student trustee.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, yes, a motion. I'm like, motion. We have a second. Do you want a second? Okay. So we have student trustee who's second. Okay, so we'll roll call. Trustee Acuña? Aye. Trustee Arredondo?
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes has stepped out. Trustee Torres?
Yes.
And Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
And myself, yes. A motion passes 6-0. Yes, okay. 10.2, Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of contract with Faxes Education Staffing. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Madam President, could we ask the clerk to roll call vote?
Okay.
Madam President?
Yeah. Mr. Angulo, will you be okay doing the roll call? And may that help us get through it. We technically do have to because we do have someone on Zoom. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And make sure we start with yes. Student. But do we have any comments or questions? No. Any comments or questions before we move to roll call? No. Okay. Thank
Starting
you.
with Mia Mesa.
Dr. Here. Yes or
Aye
yes.
or nay?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay.
President Jocelyn Vargas.
Aye.
Clerk Valerie Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Joey Acuña. Trustee Arredondo.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Tortes.
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes. Not present. Motion carries.
Okay. Moving on to 10.3, Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of purchase with Sweetwater for music exploration equipment utilizing Prop 28 funds for Desert Mirage High School. Do we have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? Okay, roll call.
Student Trustee Mia Mesa.
Aye.
President Jocelyn Vargas.
Aye.
Clerk Valerie Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Joey Acuña. Trustee Arredondo.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Tortes.
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes. Absent, not present. Motion carries.
10.4. Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of purchase with the ceramics shop for ceramic supplies utilizing Prop 28 funds. Do I have a motion? A second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Roll call.
Starting with the student Mia Mesa.
Aye.
President Jocelyn Vargas.
Aye.
Clerk Valerie Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Joey Acuña. Trustee Arredondo.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Tortes.
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes. Not present. Motion carries.
Okay. 10.5, Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of one-year online course license with Lexia Learning Systems LLC for Palmview Elementary School. A
Second.
Comments, questions? Roll call.
Starting with Mia Mesa.
Aye.
President Jocelyn Vargas.
Aye.
Clerk Valerie Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Joey Acuña. Trustee Trinidad Redondo.
Aye.
Trustee Jesus Gonzalez. Trustee Thomas Tortes.
Aye.
Trustee Alana Calamanes. Not present. Motion carries.
Okay. Moving on to 10.6. Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of service agreement with Riverside County Department of Public Social Services, memorandum of agreement number DPSS 0005355. Have a motion?
A motion.
Do we have a second? Okay. Any comments, questions? Roll call?
Student Trustee Mesa.
Aye.
President Vargas.
Aye.
Clerk Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Acuña. Trustee Arredondo.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Tortes.
Aye.
And Trustee Calamanes. Not present. Motion carries.
Okay. Action items under business services. We have 11.1, Julie Vigil, authorization to renew the lease agreement between Golden Voice LLC and Coachella Valley Unified School District. Do I have a motion?
But I would, for the record, right, would like to brag about how much Golden Voice has contributed to our school district for this year. I know it's been a cool fund that I think is going to go to good use. I mean, maybe somebody can speak about how much they're going to contribute for using our north 60 acres for 1 year.
Did we have a second? A second. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, motion second.
Oh, so thank you, Trustee Gonzalez. So yes, just this particular contract here is for the lease for just the land, just for their soccer tournament. I mean, sorry, lacrosse tournament.
Okay.
And then we do have the lease for the additional land, over $350,000 plus this one. So yes, they are donating quite a bit of service to us in leases.
Okay. Yeah, question?
Quick comment or a question here. It says it's the renewal. We didn't have a separate, did we have a separate contract just for the lacrosse in the past, or we were doing a one-time fees for separate projects in the past? So it's not actually, this part of it is not actually a renewal. This is an actual first contract for this particular one to put it in? Because, again, my recollection is in the past, they did it on a one-time basis if they had extra ones outside of their initial contract, their original contract.
Yeah, and this is actually was kind of different because normally Al, a property owner, was the one, or the property owner of the Polo Ground at that time was the guy that negotiated. When we settled our agreement with Golden Voice, it only was for Coachella, Ocella, and Stagecoach.
Right.
And then anything above and beyond that was going to be a separate contract, and I think that's what this would fall under. It's not a renewal.
Yeah.
It's an addition to the other contract.
So there was a previous contract, and it was for their soccer tournament that they had hosted along with lacrosse, and that was in prior years, and that contract had ended. However, this continues to carry, and this is part of the lacrosse piece from the prior contract.
How old was the other contract?
To Mr. Gonzalez's point, the original contract was with Alex Hagan, not with Golden Voice, was it not?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But this contract is with Golden Voice. They must have came to some kind of an agreement.
Right, exactly.
And they're reaching out to build on the contract that they already have. But can you tell me when that soccer lacrosse contract, the last time we had a contract with them?
I believe that was for last year.
Last year, and it was soccer and lacrosse.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Former CBO brought it, and
It never came to the board.
this year, they removed soccer. They're not doing soccer anymore, so it's just for lacrosse.
Weird. Okay, whatever.
Okay. No other questions? Can we have roll call?
Yes. Student Mia Mesa,
Aye.
President Vargas,
Aye.
Clerk Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Acuna, Trustee Arredondo,
I'm going to abstain from this item. Thank you.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
Trustee Tortes,
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes, not present. Motion carries.
Okay. Action item 12.1, Dr. Monica Makowitz, approval of MOU between Coachella Valley Unified School District and Coachella Valley Teachers Association regarding voluntary transfers, Article 9. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do you have a second? I'll second. Comments, questions? Nope. Roll call?
Mia Mesa,
Aye.
President Vargas,
Aye.
Clerk Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Acuna, Trustee Arredondo,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
Trustee Tortes,
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes, not present. Motion carries.
Okay, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board considers a motion unless members of the board or staff request specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent calendar, in which event the items will be considered separately. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of educational services, and assistant superintendent of business and finance and Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources recommend the approval of all consent calendar items.
I will motion to approve the consent calendar respecting anybody wanting to pull
Okay.
an item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any items to pull? I like to pull 15.8. Anything else? No?
Yeah.
Okay. No question. Okay, so we're approving the agenda with the exception of item 15.8. You want to roll call, please?
Yes. Student Trustee Mia Mesa,
Aye.
President Vargas,
Aye.
Clerk Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Acuna, Trustee Arredondo,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez, Trustee Tortes,
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes, not present. Motion carries.
Okay. 15.8, Socorro Sanchez requesting approval of proposal with Raíces Cultura for an art education program for West Shores High School. Do I have a motion? And a second? Okay. Any questions, comments? I'm just abstaining on the item. No? Okay. Roll call?
Student Mia Mesa,
Aye.
President Vargas,
I'm abstaining.
Clerk Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Acuna? Trustee Arredondo?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez? Trustee Tortes?
Aye.
Trustee Calamanes? Not present. Motion carries.
Okay. 18.1, we don't have any other closed session business. 18.2, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
A second? Roll call? I mean, I think we all want to go home.
Roll call.
Yeah, sure.
Student Trustee Mia Mesa?
Aye.
President Vargas?
Aye.
Clerk Garcia?
Aye.
Trustee Acuna? Trustee Arredonda?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez?
He
Not present.
motioned.
Trustee Tortes?
Aye.
Yeah. Okay.
Trustee Calamanes? Not present. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody.